Did you get a chance to see the new Tupac biopic?
Yeah, I did.
All Eyez On Me.
I did. I actually went to see my girl. She was like, "Yo, let's go see it," and I was like, "You're right. We need to go see it now." I was actually holding her up, like, "You better not go see that without me."
What was your review on that?
I like it, honestly. I've heard a lot of mixed feelings about the film. People complain about the acting. People complain about different versions of the story and all of those things. But me personally, I feel like anything that we get that's based off of the story of a legend that was able to be given to us that from the people that were actually there, that's still their version. Your version may be different of what your experience was being amongst Pac. But this film was actually a film that was given to us by the guys who were amongst Pac in the version of what they felt. So I look for the positive in the situations and feel like, hey man, I think they've done a great job with, putting the movie together. I think the guy that played Pac, we need to check his birth certificate. Hey, man, people don't know this, but I was supposed to play Pac, okay? That's what makes your show exclusive. I was supposed to play Tupac Shakur, you understand? I didn't get as far as going and reading the scripts and things of that nature, but I actually was lined up or one of those guys that was, I guess, considered to play Tupac.
But you didn't do the audition or anything?
No, I didn't do it. I was almost told that I was already given the role without the audition.
Oh, wow.
Until Pac himself came along. Because that guy, to me, listen, bro, we have a lot of people that look just like people, but come on, let's just be real. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know. People like to say that I got all these different similar characters. Even the Outlaws tell me all things about, yo, you just don't know, bro. You do this like Paul, whatever the case may be. Things that I just don't know. But the real reality of the situation is the guy who played Tupac, you couldn't find a better person to play Tupac. The man looked just exactly like Tupac, and I felt like he done his homework enough to play that role, and he done a great job. So for y'all that wanna, talk down on the movie and all of that, that's y'all opinion and you're entitled to have it, but I enjoyed the movie.
Now, when it comes to it being a hip-hop biopic, right? Mm-hmm. There have been some other hip-hop biopics out there already. And a lot of people would say that at the top is probably the N.w.a. Straight Outta Compton biopic.
Mm-hmm.
Where does this Tupac, All Eyez On Me, fit on the best biopics you've ever seen so far in terms of hip-hop? If people have the N.w.a. at the top of the spectrum,
mm-hmm.
Is this one close to it? Is this one above it? How far down, farther from it is it if it's not? Where do you put this
I
one?
think the N.w.a. was definitely at the top, but I also feel like the Tupac was, right there beneath it, right beneath it, being the fact that, Ice Cube is still living. Dr. Dre is still living. MC Ren is still living. You understand what I'm saying? They're here to speak their truth and direct their truth too.
And people have said this argument too.
Straight up and down. Pac's not here, regardless of what it is.
His mother isn't either.
And his mother isn't either. God rest their souls.
Somebody said, I did an interview with, if Pac's mother was at least alive, maybe this biopic would have been better because she would have been there to say certain things about it.
I think I wouldn't.
Kind of like the illusion, like you said, Dre's alive.
Right. I wouldn't necessarily say maybe the movie would have been better, but it could have possibly had more elements to it that she probably would have added just because of things that dealt around his life that only she knew. That's her baby. That's her birth, her child. So of course, I think if Miss Anthony was still here, the movie probably would have more interesting characteristics to it, or more different scenes. It would be more scenes than what we got because of what she would interpret, definitely.
Do you think the mixed reviews also came from the N.w.a. movie coming out a year before this one? Maybe because it's now at the top of a lot of people's spectrums in terms of hip-hop biopics, and it did so well, and it was critically acclaimed, and everybody liked it. Do you think that made this a little more of an unfair judgment, or just because it's Pac and who Pac is
I think
it was going to be like that anyways?
Well, I think people gonna forever have judgment of the Tupac legacy in itself, period, because it's still an open book. There's no closure. We don't know who killed Pac or Biggie. Everybody assumes and says different things, and you have all of these different stories of everything, but the conspiracy theories, it's almost like a UFO. You know, but the real reality of it is that it's still an open book. So not even just a Tupac, but even with a Biggie, you know, the legacy of them is always gonna be, I think, because like I say, the book is still open, man.
Now, there's talks of, you know, whenever there's a biopic that comes out as big as this, there's always talks of who people want to see next of. I've heard there's a Master P one in the works. I've heard there's a this and a that. Who would you personally want to see next, if you could, a biopic of?
G-Unit. I honestly feel like the story of G-Unit is one of the most interesting stories, and then there has never been another rap group in history since n.w.a. that's been as successful as G-Unit, where every individual of the group has actually released a platinum project. So we have got accolades that and goals and things that we've accomplished with G-Unit that sets us right there with the n.w.a.s. So why not create a biopic to show what it took to get to where we're at now? We're still here. You understand what I'm saying? So our biopic could be right, you know, the Young Buck, you know what I'm saying, and the Lloyd Banks and the Yayo, and it could lead up to us actually playing who we are now because we're still here. And I feel like biopics are more of situations where people start to pay attention to biopics when either an artist has passed away or the music has been considered classic and the artist is either no longer involved in music or whatever the case may be. But a biopic doesn't have to be based off of a dead artist or an artist that's no longer here, especially if you have an artist that was winning way back then and still winning way now. It's only a few of us. Don't you ever forget that. It's only a few of us that's still here. You know what I'm saying? And real is rare. It's a very few of us when we start dealing with that topic. So, hey.
Who would play you, though?
Who would play me?
Have you ever thought about that?
No, honestly. I actually have never thought of who could play me. A motherfucker, like, I don't know, man.
A G-Unit biopic would be very interesting.
It really would.
Very interesting.
It really would. It's been some real life situations that come along with G-Unit. That's why I think they love us the most.